Add. First step in adding these rational expressions would be to factor the denominators. In order to factor 20w squared plus 57w plus 40, I'm going to use my father drives a red Mustang. So my father drives a red Mustang. The first step is m, multiply a times c. So I have w squared plus 57w. 20 is my a value. 40 is my c value. So that would be 800. 20 times 40 is 800. Next step is to factor. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 800, but when I add them, I get 57. Those two numbers would be 25 and 32. 25 times 32 is 800. 25 plus 32 is 57. My next step is divide by a. So I have w plus 25 divided by my a value, which was 20, and w plus 32 also divided by my a value, which was 20. My next step is to reduce the fractions. So that becomes w plus 5 over 4 if I divide top and bottom by 5. On my other fraction, when I reduce, if I divide top and bottom by 4, I get 8 over 5. The last step is to move the denominator to be the coefficient of w. So I have 4w plus 5 and 5w plus 8. I'm going to do the same thing with my other denominator, so 15w squared minus w minus 40. I'm going to use my father drives a red Mustang. So m is multiply a times c, so I have w squared minus w. A times c would be a value is 15, my c value is negative 40. So 15 times negative 40 is negative 600. My next step is to factor. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 600, but when I add those two same numbers together, I get negative 1. So those numbers would be w minus 25 and w plus 24. Negative 25 times positive 24 gives me negative 600. Negative 25 plus positive 24 gives me negative 1. My next step is to divide by a. My a value is 15 because 15 is the coefficient of w squared. So 25 over 15 and 24 over 15. My next step is to reduce the fraction. So w minus 5 over 3 if I divide top and bottom by 5. And w plus 8 over 5 if I divide top and bottom of this fraction by 3. My last step is to move my denominator, so 3w minus 5 times 5w plus 8. So now that I've factored my denominators, I'm going to determine my lowest common denominator. So my lowest common denominator, since I have 5w plus 8 in both of these, and I have 4w plus 5 in this one and 3w minus 5 in this, my lowest common denominator is going to be 4w plus 5, 5w plus 8, and 3w minus 5. I only need to include one 5w plus 8 because it appears a maximum of one time in each. So that's my lowest common denominator. Next, I need to multiply as needed to make the denominators the same. So I have 7 over 4w plus 5 and 5w plus 8. I'm missing 3w minus 5 from this one. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 3w minus 5. in my other rational expression, I have 6 over my factors, which were 3w minus 5 times 5w plus 8. So this one, to make the denominators the same, is missing the 4w plus 5. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 4w plus 5. Next, I'm going to add the numerators. So in this one we're adding, so I'm going to add the numerators. So I have 7 times 3w minus 5 plus 6 times 4w plus 5. Since it has the same denominator, I could put it all under 1. So 4w plus 5, 5w plus 8, and 3w minus 5. So we have the same denominator, so it's all over 1. The next step, I'm going to distribute. So I've got 7 times 3 is 21w. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. 6 times 4w is 24w. And 6 times 5 is 30. I still have the same denominator of 4w plus 5 times 5w plus 8 times 3w minus 5. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So this equals 21 plus 24, which is 45w. 35, negative 35, and 30 is 5. I have 4w plus 5, 5w plus 8, and 3w minus 5 for my denominator. Okay, since I've simplified the numerator already, which is my 5th step, I had 45w minus 5, okay, over 3w minus 5. I had 4w plus 5, and I had 5w plus 8. That was my denominator. Okay, just to check and make sure that there's nothing I can divide out, I'm going to take out the greatest common factor. So I have 5 times 9w minus 1. Okay, the reason that I'm factoring this is I need to make sure that there's nothing that's going to cancel out in the denominator and the numerator. Okay, so down here I do not have a 9w minus 1 or a 5 that's on the outside anywhere, so I don't have anything to cancel. So my last step is I'm going to write the answer in expanded form, which means I'm going to multiply everything together and not leave it factored. So I'm going to return the top to 45w minus 5. Okay, in order to get the bottom, I'm going to multiply 3w minus 5, 4w plus 5, and 5w plus 8. Okay, so I've got 3w minus 5. If I multiply these two, okay, we can do them in any order. They're all eventually going to be multiplied together. If I multiply those two, I have 4w times 5w is 20w squared. I have 4w times 8 is 32w, and 5 times 5, which is 25. So those two together gives me a total of 57 w's. And then 5 times 8 is 40, so plus 40. Okay, and I still need to multiply this trinomial by this binomial. So if I use the box method, I have 20w squared, 57w, and 40. And I have it being multiplied by 3w and negative 5. So 20w times 3w, sorry, 20w squared times 3w is going to be 60w cubed. I've got negative 5 times 20w squared is negative 100w squared. 5 times 3 is 171w. 57 times negative 5 is negative 285w. 40 times 3w is 120w. And 40 times negative 5 is negative 200. Okay, so when I combine the like terms, okay, my final answer, I have 45w minus 5 for my numerator. My denominator, I have 60w cubed. Okay, and when I combine negative 100 and positive 171, I get positive 71w squared. When I combine negative 285w and positive 120w, I get negative 165w. And then negative 200 is all by itself. Okay, so my final answer is 45w minus 5 over 60w cubed plus 71w squared minus 165w minus 200.